What is up, guys? Python here, back with another video, and today we got some great news to talk about. The New York Mets made two signings today, one being a re-sign of their own guy, and the other being a signing off the free agent market, as the Mets are really close now to finally shaping up their entire roster. The Mets went out there and signed Brandon Nimmo to an 8-year deal worth $162 million, so about $20 million AAV there, and they also signed David Robertson to a 1-year, $10 million deal. We're going to talk about both of those signings. Before we do, though, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. We cover the Mets heavily here on the channel, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But let's talk about this because I'm very hyped about both of these moves. Brandon Nimmo, you had to bring him back, whether you didn't like him or not. I'm someone that kind of likes Nimmo, but at the same time, I don't like him in the leadoff spot personally. I just don't like a guy that doesn't steal bases in the leadoff spot. But regardless, he is still a great hitter and still had a great year. Defensively, one of the better center fielders in all baseball, in the 90th plus percentile in outs above average, I'm pretty sure, the past year. So he had a great year there when it came to the defensive side of things. But when it came to the bat, he was also great. The big concern has always been health with Brandon Nimmo, right? Brandon Nimmo, he had a little bit of I think it was a hamstring injury towards the end of the year. I forgot what he tweaked towards the end of the year, and he didn't look himself after he had that slight little injury. I think it came against the Milwaukee Brewers, if I'm not mistaken. But he did have a solid year at the plate, hitting .274, had a WRC plus of 134, had 16 home runs, 64 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, which is the thing that I don't like, but 151 games, which was huge for Nimmo because the past year is 92 games in 2021. The year before that, he was healthy for pretty much all of the 2020 season, 55 games, remember, a shortened season there. And then 2019, we remember that one being a really bad year when it came to health. Only 69 games. Nice, not so nice, though, for Brandon Nimmo there. 69 games played. He hasn't really been fully healthy, aside from last year, since 2018, where he played 140 games. And that was probably the best year of his career, arguably. You maybe could argue that this year was better, but I would probably still say 2018 was. But this past year, he definitely was still great, and he brings so much value to the team because he's good in the field, he's good at the plate, and it's hard to come by that in the center field position these days. Otherwise, you're looking at either moving Marte or Canada center field and then signing a Benintendi, signing Haniger's off the market, but that was probably another name that you would have been looking at. You would have been looking at a Kevin Kiermaier for maybe center field, which would have been absolutely awful. He cannot hit at all. He swings a pool noodle at the plate. That would have just ended atrociously. And then there just weren't really good enough options, so you had to get this done, and I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan of getting this one done, and it's going to be interesting to see if they continue to hit him leadoff or if they go out there and add another bat to be in the leadoff spot. But regardless, very happy. 2 thumbs up for me for the Brandon Nimmo contract. I just want to quickly see if there's anything like a no trade protection, if there's something about that, which doesn't look like there is, but I'm very happy with this deal, considering his market too, because the Giants lost out on Judge. They were probably in the mix for him. The Blue Jays were reportedly in the mix for him. The Yankees tried to poach him here from the Mets. Then you had the Dodgers, I think, were involved. You had so many teams involved, and the fact that they got him at the price they did, I'm not complaining at all. This is what you had to give to get Brandon Nimmo back, and there's no complaining from me at all when it comes to this. This was the right move, and finally the Mets keeping one of their own guys as well is something that you really like to see, because we've seen DeGrom now walk, we've seen Wheeler walk, we've seen Syndergaard walk, we've seen all these pitchers walk, and we've seen even some other guys when it comes to the bats walk as well. Daniel Murphy back in the day, granted that was kind of more of the Wilpon era, so it's just they didn't really have a choice but to let him go. And we saw it as well, even with Michael Conforto. Granted, I think that was kind of more the Mets side of things with the injury concerns. But at the same time, he didn't want to come back because the Mets gave him that qualifying offer. He rejected it. So, yeah, you have all that. So, with all that being said, I'm not complaining at all with the with the signing here, and I think that it was the right thing to do. Now let's move on to the guy that everybody and their mother wanted at the trade deadline this past year, David Robertson. Everybody wanted him and Contreras in a package deal at the trade deadline. Well, the Mets find themselves with David Robertson now after this past postseason that he spent with the Phillies and after he spent time with the Cubs as well before that. So everybody can breathe, can be happy that he's finally a Met like he should have been. And I'm definitely happy about this signing, that is for sure, because the Mets needed to add desperately to this bullpen. And I'd imagine this is your Ottavino replacement. I don't see Ottavino coming back anymore after the signing. This is your 8th inning guy, but if you do add Ottavino, this bullpen could look scary. You get Diaz, Robertson, Ottavino, Raley, and then Drew Smith will be somewhere in there. You throw McGill or Peterson in the mix there. There's links to Trevor Williams potentially coming back. He might be in the mix to get a bullpen gig. And then you go out there and sign maybe a Trevor May to bring back as well, or maybe you sign another lefty there and you're ready to go. I think that this was a crucial signing, and this is great. You get a guy that you wanted without giving up assets, which is another huge thing, because the Mets with David Robertson, realistically, this past postseason, it wouldn't have made a difference. It's not like the bullpen was the issue in the postseason where it's like, oh my God, the Mets needed David Robertson last postseason to get over the hump against the San Diego Padres. No, it wasn't like that. So right now you look at this as, oh, we got a guy that they wanted at the deadline last year that didn't even matter for last year's run. We got a guy that we wanted without giving up assets. That's what I like about this. Last year, he had a 2.40 ERA with an expected ERA at 3.05. So the expected number's higher, but still not bad for a relief pitcher. A FIP at 3.58, a little bit high there, and an expected FIP at 3.71. Again, a little bit high for both of those things, but his WAR was at a 0.7. And that was something that's pretty good, pretty noteworthy there. Even though in the past he's had his WAR above a 1 and even above a 2 back in 2011 with the Yankees. That's the other thing that I like about this. You get a guy who's been here, done that in New York, so you get a pitcher there that knows what it's like to pitch under pressure. He just came off a World Series run too, so he really knows what it's like to pitch under pressure. Had some playoff runs before that with the Yankees. Won a World Series in 2009, of course, with the Yankees as well. So you add a guy that has been there, done that. That's what I like as well about this. His Ks per 9, 11.4. His walks per 9, that's where the concerns are. But just like Adam Ottavino, he had his concerns with walks. I'm sure that they could maybe fix a bit of that, or maybe he could limit that. And that's probably why you're seeing some of the numbers driven up as well. But the long ball, he doesn't really give that up. He did in Tampa Bay and in Philly in that 7 games that he played for them in his first stint there in 2019. But I don't really like to look at that year in 2019 with the Phillies and the year in 2021 with the Tampa Bay Rays. Those were just kind of weird years where he only pitched 12 games and then 7 games in 2019. So outside that, he doesn't give up the long ball a lot. 0.85 home runs per 9 isn't bad whatsoever. So you do like to see that. And he also could close games for you, which is what I really like. He had 20 saves this past year. And the fact that he's coming in here knowing that he's not the closer, that's another thing. He could have easily went elsewhere and been a closer, probably could have got paid like a closer and really taken advantage there. But he took a discount. Well, I'd imagine he did, because I'm surprised that nobody else really paid him to be their closer. So he must have took a discount to come here as well. We'll find that out later, I'm sure. But that's what I like too. As long as he understands the role here, which I'm assuming he does, because they gave Diaz that contract. You have to understand your role at that point. So I think that you get a guy who could close games and understands that he's the 8th inning guy. I think this is honestly an upgrade from Adam Ottavino. I really do. Where Ottavino, yeah, he had a great year this past year, but is he going to replicate it? Because we've seen in the past him struggle. We've seen issues there. And then, again, you get a guy who's been there, done that with the closing gig as well. In 2014 with the Yankees, had 39 saves, had 34 the year after with the White Sox, 37 then with the White Sox, and then with the Yankees and the White Sox, had 14. Then he didn't really get a lot of saves those years after because he barely pitched, although he was not the closer in 2018 because of Chapman. So, yeah, you end up getting a guy, again, that's been here in New York, could close games, That's what I like about this. And his Ks per 9 throughout his entire career, you look at it, always above a 10. His walks per 9, it's really the walks that are the issue. The only year they really didn't have issues with the walks is 2015, where he had a 1.8 walks per 9, which is absolutely outrageous there. So we're gonna have to get used to seeing the walks, but maybe he could limit it. Again, I think this is an upgrade. I think this is a great move. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section of this move. Let me know in the comments as well what you think of the Brandon Nimmo move. Would love to hear from all of you guys down in the comment section. That's gonna be it for me though. Quick little thoughts and reactions there to those two moves. That's where I'm going to end things out. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. Remember to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. I will see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Mets.